Coming up today on Two Farm Moms, how to start a flower garden. I really love growing flowers. I love having cut flower arrangements in the house. And we wanted to take the time to show you how we started that process. The point of this flower garden, the purpose of when I really envisioned the whole thing, was that we would have a 4-season cut flower garden that really frames the landscape from the front porch. So this is really going to frame this whole section in front of the house, and it's going to look beautiful both coming and going from the house and also sitting on the front porch, which we do a lot of with coffee around here. Okay, so a few tips on how to start your own flower garden. The first is going to be to start small. I have grand plans for this garden to be a sprawling, 4,000 square foot extravaganza of blooms that blooms from March to November. But I'm not going to do that in the first year. That's a lot of stress and management, and you can't do it all. So I just started here. This was it. This was all that we started with. This is just about 500 square feet right here. So just pick a spot and get yourself going. The second thing is going to be to plant things that you like, not things that you think that you should have. So for example, for me, that's going to be roses. I think roses are beautiful. People use them in arrangements all the time, but I'm not interested in taking care of such a finicky plant. They have a lot of pests. They take a lot of trimming and staking, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm not going to grow them. I might put in like a knockout rose at one point because they make nice, pretty little sprays that are great for arrangements. But, I'm just not going to grow them. If I want some roses every once in a while, I'll just go buy some. It's to make sure you do a mix of greens and flowers. It's really easy to get out here and plant nothing but flowers. But as you can see, when you plant just flowers, it leaves some bare spots. The spots that have the daffodils and the tulips and the muscari, it's going to be kind of bare certain times of the year. So you want that greenery to add interest to the landscape as the seasons go on. But you also want it because greenery forms, that's the first thing you put into every arrangement. So you want to make sure you have greenery. Take into account when you're planning your garden is, if you want to, plan for all 4 seasons. So I would love to have cut flowers from, March all the way through November. Sorry. I would love to have cut flowers all the way from March through to November. But it's going to take time for me to collect all those plants. But eventually I want to be able to walk out on any given day and pull together an arrangement from what I have here. One of the best ways to do that is just as you're driving around, what's blooming. If you see, you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's the beginning of July and I have nothing blooming in my garden. Look at what's blooming in other people's gardens. Oh, look, they have columbine blooming, or their dahlias are coming up. So I need to fill in with that at this time to make sure that you have flowering plants at all times of the year for your arrangements. The next tip, and this one's crucial for your sanity, is to don't go for instant gratification. So the couple ways you can do that is you can plant things from seed. It's going to save you a lot of money to do that. It takes a little longer, but it's certainly a lot cheaper and will help you fill in your garden a lot, square footage wise, a lot faster than if you bought individual plants. You can divide your plants and start a little slower that way. So the peonies, sure, I could have put in the giant clump that I found, but I was able to divide them, and I got 5 peonies out of 2 plants that I originally had. So eventually they'll grow and they'll fill in the space, but for right now, they're, going to be on the small side. The last tip, and this is just universal, you're always going to need this, is right plant, right place. So, I would love to plant more daffodils, but I don't have enough scattered shade at this point to plant those daffodils. So I'm going to have to wait a little bit until I get some plants that are providing that kind of dappled shade so I can put in more daffodils. And that is pretty much it. So, excuse me. So those are all my tips that I have for starting your own flower garden. And yeah, that's all I got. Okay, Meredith, you can cut that last part out.